The letter in the fog. On a narrow street just off Fleet Street, where the gas lamps burned low and the fog never seemed to lift, there stood a red postbox no one used anymore. It had been sealed decades ago, or so the city claimed. Each night at precisely 2:11 a.m., a single letter appeared inside. No one saw who delivered it. No footsteps, no carriage wheels, only the soft clink of metal as the slot fell shut. The letters were always addressed the same. To the one who knows. No stamp, no return name. The first letter was discovered by a junior clerk from the Royal Courts of Justice, who had taken a shortcut through the fog after working late. Curious, he forced open the rusted hatch and found the envelope resting inside, as though freshly placed. The handwriting was careful, elegant. Inside was a single sheet of thick paper. It described, in unsettling detail, a court case from 1873, a verdict delivered under suspicious circumstances. It named the judge, the jurors, the bribe. The clerk assumed it was an elaborate prank. Until the next night, another letter. This one described a disappearance tied to the same case, a witness who had recanted testimony, then vanished walking home across Blackfriars Bridge. The fog, the letter claimed, had been convenient. The clerk began returning each night at 2:11 a.m., heart pounding, waiting. He never saw anyone approach, but he began to notice something else. Footprints, not leading toward the postbox, but away from it, as though someone emerged from the fog, delivered nothing, and left. On the fourth night, the letter bore his own name. It stated that he had discovered the letters, that he had read them, and that he now knew the truth of the old verdict, that an innocent man had been condemned. The final line was written differently, the ink darker, pressed hard into the paper. "You are the only one left who can correct it." The clerk returned the next evening with records from the archives. He had found proof. The old case had indeed been tainted. The judge's financial ledgers told a different story than the verdict. He slipped the documents into the postbox and waited. 2:11 a.m. The slot rattled. A letter appeared. Inside was a single word, received. The next morning, headlines filled the city. A long-buried judicial scandal had surfaced overnight. Anonymous documents had been delivered to every major paper on Fleet Street. The case was reopened in the public eye. The condemned man's name was cleared, posthumously but definitively. The clerk returned one last time to the old postbox. It was gone. In its place stood bare pavement, damp with fog. No bolts, no rust marks, no sign it had ever existed, except for one final envelope lying on the stones, addressed not to him, but to the city. It read, "Justice requires witnesses." And beneath it, faint in the mist, a second set of footprints stood beside his own, then faded as the morning sun burned through the fog.